John, just to go to set pieces, they were poor on Saturday. They were poor last night as well. But the most important set piece last night was the one against us. Now, the way that wall lined up for a brilliant goal by this lad Harry Wilson, who scored a great goal at Old Trafford for Derby County. He is good on around the box. That wall lined up, and Harry Arthur was in the wall, and this young lad Callum Robinson, they were on the end of the wall, and Harry Arthur is the smallest player in the team. Shane Duffy was marking someone on the far post. So the big guys that we needed, in that wall to give the keeper a chance, were actually marking people. Now, Wilson was never going to do anything with that except have a shot.
Yeah.
It was obvious to everyone in the stadium. Now, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Not to have the big guy in the wall, make it harder for him, maybe get a head on it, flick it away.
Yeah, I agree with that, Eamon. But it was even a more important thing. Robinson was in the wall at the end of the wall. Who was it?
Harry Arthur and Robinson were the two outside guys.
Yeah, but Robinson was at the end of the wall. Now, when you're doing preparation during the week, a wall is a wall, and a wall does not move until the kick is. In other words, it's to block the kick. That's the main thing of the wall. Now, if you watched that again last night, Robinson's actually broke from the wall to go towards the ball somehow or other to try and block, and it went over his head. But it went exactly over where he was standing.
Yeah.
So the preparation on the wall wasn't there. In other words, if you're doing it during the week, what you stress to the players, you do not move until a kick is being cleared, or you're there to block the kick, and that's why it caught the goalkeeper, because once it went over Robinson's head, then the goalkeeper couldn't see the ball until it came over the wall.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Now, I agree with you, if you want to put the big lads in the wall, but we did have a big enough lad in the wall on that particular incident, if Robinson stays where he is, to block the kick. But that's lack of preparation.
Yeah. I mean, Liam, this is sort of, if you're managing an amateur team, you wouldn't let this happen. Harry Arts is the smallest guy in the team.
No, he shouldn't be in the wall. You could maybe have him. Maybe on the end of the wall, or just a yard off the wall, if the ball was touched, he would be the one to close the shot down.
But that ball was never going to be touched, Liam, was it? It was always going to be direct.
No, he lined up with his left foot, and we all knew, and especially after what he did up at Manchester United, you would have, you need to know all these things. All these small things can make the difference. And I'm going back to John again. We would spend maybe 20 minutes after every training session prior to an international to work on set pieces.
Yeah.
Not only for, but against as well. And Trapattoni used to bore the lads crazy. He would work on it maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes until he felt that they got it right. But it can make the difference in the end. And, with Trapattoni, I know he wasn't to your liking the way they played in football, or to John's liking, but at set pieces, he was very, very capable, and we got a lot of goals for and didn't concede many against, and that can make the difference, particularly when you have a team that's not multi-talented like ours. It's the little things that might make the difference in gaining a point or getting 3 points. Do you understand me, Eamon?
I do understand you completely. I mean, that's the whole... games are decided at the highest level by the tightest of margins, but it was clear to me last night. First of all, they knew Wilson from the goal he scored at Old Trafford. They knew he was a mortal threat at set pieces round the box. I don't think, Liam, that, and I put this to John as well, I don't think that they worked on building a wall in training.
I don't know, Eamon. I just couldn't tell you. The word is coming out. The word is coming out, and it's been coming out for months now, that they don't do much preparation at all.
But how could you have
team shape, and players are not told where they are playing and what's expected of them, and it's a bit off the cuff. Not a bit off the cuff. It's off the cuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's. We've been found out. We were found out terribly in last November against Denmark. When we lost 5-1 at home, and we were found really out against Wales when they beat us 4-1 last month. So
Yeah.
it's a real worry going forward. And I said it before this Nations League started. I wasn't expecting much because, from the evidence I've seen and the lack of players, top quality players that are available. And you have to remember he has a few injuries of really good players that are probably our better players in Robbie Brady and Coleman. We were going to be up against it, and it's I wasn't the only one to say it. A lot of people were saying it, including yourselves, and unfortunately, that's the way it's been.
Yeah, I mean, John, if you were there and you were practicing a defensive wall in training, which you should be, and you saw Harry Arter in the wall, and you were a responsible player, you'd say, hold on, boss, do you think Harry should be in the wall at all? And the obvious answer is no.
Well,
which is worse?
What we think is he didn't practice the wall at all.
No, but what I'm saying, which is worse? Now, here's a question for both of you. Which is worse? Not practicing a wall at all, knowing this guy Wilson is a threat,
yeah,
or practicing the wall and leaving Harry Arter in it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Eamon, I think I would rather have Arthur in the wall and tell Robinson in no circumstance to break from the wall. I'm prioritising. I think both are wrong, but the Robinson mistake is more important than the Arthur mistake. Arthur wasn't actually responsible for the goal because he was in the wall. It was Robinson that was responsible. He broke from the wall. Arthur didn't break from the wall. Now, obviously, the common sense thing would be not to have Arthur in the wall because he's one of the smaller players. But actually, on Saturday, it wasn't that Arthur was in the wall. It was because Robinson, who say we assume that Robinson.
Did you say Saturday? It was last night.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, last night.
Yeah.
Say Robinson was in the wall during practice.
Yeah.
For example, if he was, I'm not so sure he was, but if
I
he
don't
was
think they practiced.
Okay, well, assuming they practice.
Okay.
Assuming they practice. If they don't practice, then it's pointless talking about it near enough because they didn't practice, so anything can happen. But if you had Robinson, we assume Robinson is in the wall and Arthur is in the wall during the week, right? First thing you tell the wall is no way do you break.
Exactly.
Because you're there to block the thing.
Yes.
Robinson broke.
Yep.
Right, so we have to assume if Robinson was in the wall during the week, he wasn't told not to break.
Right, that's two mistakes then. Arthur is in the wall.
Yeah.
Robinson is in the wall, and he does something that even going back to the Stone Ages in football,
you don't do.
No, the coach always said don't break.
Exactly.
One other point, Liam, about Darren Randolph. Now, he took 2 steps to his left.
Yeah, that was fatal, wasn't it?
It was fatal. Now, the point there again, and again, it's something this is not being pedantic. This is something you spend your weeks, your days on the training ground thinking about and working on. He should have been told, if there was a coach in the camp, you've got to trust your wall, Darren. In other words, if the wall is covering one side, you are responsible for only the other side, and that would have eliminated that goal because it didn't actually go. It was a great strike by the kid, but it didn't go in the side net. And I mean,
no, you should know if he doesn't take those 2 steps to the left, he saves it.
And why did he take the 2 steps to the left? Because
I don't know. We don't know. He might have been told. He might have been told to trust your wall. We don't know.
It's
certainly a mistake on his part that he didn't hold his position.
No.
Yeah.
But he was trying to second guess Wilson, which we've seen time and time again in the Premier League is fatal. If you take that step to the wrong side, there's no way you're getting back. And the ball went in a yard from the post. It wasn't in the corner.
No, but Liam, it only went in a yard from the post because Robinson had moved from the wall.
No, I don't think that's necessarily right.
Let me finish, Eamon, please. Yeah. When the goalkeeper's in the wall, first of all, the goalkeeper can't see the ball. This is a very difficult thing for goalkeepers now. And when the guy was lining up for I thought he was going to hook it into the side, goalkeeper's left.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the goalkeeper can't see it until it comes out. So he has his wall in that position.
Yeah.
Right? Assuming that Robinson's going to block it from that side.
Yeah.
Right? So before it's kicked, he has to go to the left. He's assuming that's blocked. It wasn't blocked. That's the big thing about this particular goal. I think the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he did. Actually, Randolph did point at the wall and say, like, that wasn't supposed to happen. You know.
Yeah, well, that's what I say, Liam. Like, if the goalkeeper, if I was doing it during the week with the goalkeeper, and I had the wall set up with Robinson there, then in other words, it's no way that it's going to come over or go through that wall.
Yeah.
You have to then let the goalkeeper, they can't see the ball, to be on his way to the far side of the thing.
Yeah.
The big thing there then was Robinson. He moved. You want to see it again. He runs out towards the ball before it's kicked, and it goes over exactly where he was. Yeah. So you can't blame the goalkeeper for that.
No, it's just
it's lack of preparation again.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is basic preparation, and especially with a squad with new players coming into it, and especially with Callum Robinson, who's a young lad. Basically, you'd ensure that he knew exactly what his role was, and if you were thinking about, the first thing you think about, we've all been pros, we've all been in training ground situations, the first thing, who's going to be in the wall? And that would be down to the coach, of course, but also like someone like Shane Duffy last night should have seen Harry Arthur in the wall and said, he's too small, I'll go in the wall, because there's no point in me picking up the centre forward outside. Hold on, John, you're getting...
Yeah, but you're going to... Let me just have to interrupt you here, then. It wasn't Arthur that was at fault for the goal.
No,
so even if Duffy was in the wall...
I don't agree with you.
Well, if Duffy, it was Robinson that went off the wall, not Arthur.
No, John, the two end guys, there were 5 people in that wall. The 2 end guys were Harry Arthur,
yes,
and Robinson.
Yeah.
Right. Now, hold on a minute. I'm a coach. I'm a qualified coach. You mightn't have known that.
I don't care whether you're a coach or not, Eamon, to be honest. Go on, let's finish up.
What you say to those 5 lads is, set your wall, look at your goalkeeper, set your wall, and the wall stays solid. You don't break off from the wall.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Now, as well as that, I put it to you, Liam, that if you see someone Harry Arthur's size in the wall, you do need height there, because how often do we see free kicks like that flicked over by a defender who's standing in the wall? Surely you've got to have Shane Duffy in that wall.
Well, you would want height, and it's quite obvious, because what they're doing now is they're quickly getting the ball up in the air and dipping, aren't they? Yeah. They're dipping it, and they practice it, and the balls are you're much more capable of doing that with the balls, with the modern day ball, and you often see a wall jump up, Eamon, don't you? As the guy is going to kick it, so they gain even more height. So you don't want a little guy in your wall unless he's going to be on the end of the wall, a yard off a wall, and if it's tipped to the side for somebody else to have a shot, like an indirect free kick, he's the one that goes and blocks it. We did that time and time again with John. There was always someone that was going to block if the ball was touched. But you don't want the small guy in your wall. I think what John's going on is what happened last night, and he's saying that it was Robinson's fault, and which it was, unless ONeill told him to break off the wall. You shouldn't really break. You should stand as tall as you can and make it difficult for the kicker to get it up over the wall. And it didn't happen. And the word is that they don't practice things. Now, I don't know, and I have to say I don't know. I have no information that's the case, but I know some of the players who have not long left the Irish team who are still in contact and say that that preparation just simply doesn't take place.
Yeah, I mean, just to go to the heart of this, John, I mean, and for people listening to understand the significance of it, it happens in other areas as well. If you're starting a new system with 3 centre-halves, 2 wing-backs, I mean, you'd have to work damn hard over, 2 or 3 international weeks to refine that, to get it right. If that's not being done, these guys shouldn't be in the job.
If it's obviously, I mean, we're not on the training pitch, but we're assuming it's not been done. And I don't think it has been done, because if you go back, even see, in my time in management, or my idea of management, you try to eliminate all the things that you possibly can eliminate.
Yeah.
You're going to have the free kicks against you. You're going to have corner kicks against you, for example.
And 4.
And for, oh yeah, well, I'm going
no,
from what we were
course,
talking about last night. So obviously for as well. So my attitude always was, you have to take advantage of them, but they cannot take advantage of you.
Yeah.
In other words, if it's a quick free kick, a free corner kick, that can't happen to us. We do that to them.
Yeah.
Now, what we've seen in the past, we've lost vital goals from short corner. One in Scotland.
Yep.
In Denmark, you remember,
Yes.
the first goal was from a short corner kick.
Yep.
And they'd had a short corner kick a few minutes before that where they nearly scored from.
Yep.
So that's the first thing you establish as manager. That's not going to happen to us. This is after 2 years. It did happen to us a few
Yes.
times. And it happened to us last night in a match that you lose again because the preparation right. The preparation right, Robinson wouldn't be going towards the ball. As you said, you might have had a bigger guy in the wall. That's preparation.
Yeah.
Right? And we haven't seen that.
No.
Now, whether we're told whether it's done, I don't know whether they do it, but what I have seen on the pitch, there's been no evidence that we've been prepared in the right way for those particular things.
Right.